Today is February 15th, and as usual, I'll be taking a look at the new items on Halo Infinite store and determining whether or not they're worth your money. So how's it going, Magpies? I'm Magpie Leon, and let's jump straight in. But before we do talk about the new items, if you do happen to enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like, and hey, if you're new here, do consider subscribing. I'm aiming for 1,000 subs by the end of the year, and I'm hoping we can even reach 700 by the end of February, which would honestly be insane. And on another side note, I've just released a pretty cool video about what if Activision made a Halo game, so you should totally check that out. But anyway, without wasting any more of your time, let's talk about what's on today's store. Now, the Intrusion pack is back. We'll talk about that in a moment, but there's also 3 new bundles, and all of which are really good, and this is one of the best stores overall we have seen. The Midnight Wrath bundle, the Pop Weapon set, and the Stormfall armor set are all brand new. So overall, we're off to a good start this week. There's still time for it to crumble. We could end up seeing the Intrusion pack like 3 times this week if they want to be really repetitive, but hopefully that isn't the case. I don't think there's going to be any new bundles for the rest of the week, but I just hope we don't see the same one every day. Anyway, let's talk about the Intrusion pack. Now, this contains 4 items. You get a helmet attachment, which is decent enough. Of course, it's nothing too special. It doesn't stand out loads. However, it is cool to see a helmet attachment for some of the Mark 7 helmets. It is compatible with, I'm pretty sure, all of them, and it's a fine enough item. You also get the Sandrift Gully armor coating, which is the colour brown. There's nothing that special about it. It is sort of just a normal colour. So, you know, I guess if this is your thing, then sure. But overall, it's not my cup of tea. It's not something I'd want or use. But the main selling point, in my opinion, of this bundle is the 2 shoulder pads. I like the way these shoulder pads look. I think there's some of the cooler ones for the Mark 7. And I could honestly understand someone paying 500 credits just for the shoulder pads alone. The main selling point for me here is them, and also the helmet attachment is definitely a nice bonus. But for 500 credits, honestly not a bad bundle. There's better options, but there's definitely much worse. So I could understand why someone would buy this. And yeah, I'd say it's worth it. Next up, we've got the Midnight Wrath bundle. This one is brand new and contains 5 items. Well, technically it only contains 2, considering they count each emblem as an individual item, but let's talk about what's here. You get the Midnight Frost armor coating, which is one of my favourite armor coatings in the game. It's a mixture of black with little white and red details, and it looks so cool. It really does have this sort of assassin look, and I quite like that. I'd probably buy this if it wasn't for the fact that I already had some other armor coatings that I really like. You also get the Wrath nameplate, and I don't say this very often, but this emblem looks amazing. It's the engraving of Emil's helmet, but the coloration and everything like that, the emblem just looks so cool. And of course, you get this for your vehicles, weapons, and armor. It is one of the coolest looking nameplates or emblems or whatever in the game, so I could understand why someone would want this. And honestly, with how cool the items here are, I could understand paying 500 credits. I do wish there was like just a little bit more to add to that value. Like, I mean, with the Intrusion pack, you get 3 things there, being the helmet attachment, the coating, and the shoulder pads. And although the coating isn't as nice, you do get more with that bundle overall. So I wish there was something else here, but I definitely pay 500 credits for this, and I honestly think that's worth it. Next up, we've got the Pop Weapon set, which is my favourite bundle on the shop right now. You get the Pop Weapon coatings. You get this for the Battle Rifle, the Sidekick, Assault Rifle, and Commando. They're obviously supposed to represent pop art, and they do this quite well. They really stand out, and I think they're alright. I'm not a huge fan of how they look on the AR Sidekick or Battle Rifle, but I really like how it looks on the Commando. The mixture of the colours, it really stands out, and it's one of the more interesting weapon coatings we've seen in the game, and I like that you get it for a multitude of weapons. But the main things here are definitely the weapon models. You get the Type 3C Flash Hider for the Battle Rifle, and the M90 Shroud for the Sidekick. The weapon model for the Battle Rifle isn't anything too special, it just sort of changes the muzzle or the barrel or whatever. It's definitely noticeable though, it's a noticeable difference, and I think it honestly looks quite cool. It goes well with some of the coatings and adds a bit more colour to them. But the M90 Shroud pistol model, well, for the Sidekick, is really the main thing here. It looks awesome, and in my opinion, it definitely makes the Sidekick look a bit more like the Magnum. In fact, I brought this bundle because I like the items here. The Commando coating is great, and the 2 weapon models definitely stand out. Weapon models are something I don't mind spending a good few credits on, considering they're not just colour swaps, they really change how the gun looks physically. And the Sidekick has always had some really good ones, but this is the first one I've actually brought, and I'm glad I did because seeing it in game, it looks so cool. So overall, a good set, considering we've seen weapon coatings for 300, but here you get 4 weapon coatings and 2 weapon models for only 800. Yeah, this is a good bundle, and I would 100% recommend it if you've got the credits. Hell, even if you're just looking for something to make your weapons stand out, to add a bit of spice to your weaponry, to your armory, these are definitely worth it. Anyway, let's talk about the big bundle this week, being the Stormfall armor set. This costs 1,200 credits, making it the cheapest armor set we've seen on the game, and overall, that's a pretty good price tag. You get the limed ash armor coating, which isn't anything too special. It's just like faded green. It's an okay coating, but nothing too great. We've seen better ones with the armor bundles. But you get the Stormfall helmet, which is like the new version of Gungnir from Reach, and then you get the attachment, which makes it look like Gungnir. The helmet on its own, I don't know how I feel about it. It's got sort of like bug eyes. It's a weird helmet, and I haven't got too much to say. I'm not a huge fan. It's not something I'd use, but I can kind of see the appeal here. With the attachment, it looks a lot better, but I was never a fan of the helmet in Reach anyway, so I'm not a huge fan of it here. But I know it's popular, and I can understand why people would want it. You also get some gloves. It's cool seeing some other gloves. These look fine. You get a chest piece. This is one of the better chest pieces, in my opinion, for the Mark 7. I like the sort of collar it's got going on. It's a pretty buff-looking chest piece, and I like that. You also get 2 shoulder pads. These, again, aren't my favourite shoulder pads, but they're some of the better ones we've seen. And you also get some knee pads. The knee pads are also pretty decent. There's not too much I can say about most of the other armor pieces. But then there's also the patrol formation stance. I like the stance. For 1,200 credits, you get some good pieces of armor here that would definitely make your Spartan stand out. Definitely make your Spartan look really cool compared to some others. I could fully understand paying 1,200 credits for this. It's a much better deal than paying 2,000 for an armor set. I think the items here are overall all worth it. I may not be a huge fan of the helmet, but it's still a brand new helmet, and honestly, all the items here are decent enough, and I can understand why you'd want to spend your money on it. So yeah, that's everything on the shop today. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Have you spent your money on any of these bundles? Do you like these bundles? Personally, in my opinion, I think everything here that's on the shop today is worth the credits. I think it's one of the best rotations we've seen yet. It's disappointing that the daily bundle isn't new, however, I don't dislike the intrusion pack anyway, so I'll let it slide this time. I hope going forward we see more rotations like this that give us some really cool items for fair prices. And I hope for the rest of this week we don't see the same bundle every day. I don't expect to see new bundles, but I'd like to see bundles that maybe haven't shown up in a while, or some items get separated from bundles and added to the shop, rather than seeing repeats during this week. I hope that doesn't happen. But anyway, that's all from me today, folks. If you've enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new here. I've already gone over the sub goals today, so I don't need to go over them again. I really do appreciate the support lately, folks. It does mean a lot to me. Thank you all, and I will catch you in the next one.